Hey guys, welcome back to Exit 45. So today I think we're on, what are we on? Update video number 8, I believe. We took a small break there on the last video, did a little willet run on that orange crusher bug there, and had a good time with that. So it's time to get back on this Thunderbird. So guys, I guess like all these update videos, let's start with where we're at. And where we're at with this is we left off finishing up running all the brake lines. So we're good in the back all the way to the wheels. We are good in the front to the wheels, except these bolts. I'm waiting on those to come in. So once those come in, we'll finish that up. But we're good up here. I think the next thing that I'm going to start on now is I'm going to put the battery back in. I've messed around with a lot of electrical on this since I did my last electrical check. And I think it's going to be not a bad idea to run through the electrical system again. And then once I'm done with that, we'll validate that the pump is working and then that there are no leaks. So we'll engage this system and we'll also get our pressure set. Guys, so I think while I'm waiting on my dad to arrive, I'm going to jump into the sandblast cabinet. And I've got those keepers that hold the brake shoes, brake pads in. I need to get those sandblasted. I've got bolts for the doors, some of the door parts, front bumper bolts, fender bolts, all those things need to be sandblasted. I'm going to get started on that. All right, guys, Dad's here, so we can get started on the electrical checks. And my brother, Pat, and my mom's here. Say hi, everybody. It's Matt and lots of other people.
Hi, America.
Yeah. All right, guys, so we are going to go through some electrical checks now that my dad's here and I got an extra set of hands. And he's over there farting. You're like a kid. I mean, I'm not even going over there. I'm not even walking away. All right, let's let the air clear and we'll be right back. Okay, now that we've cleared the air, we're gonna go ahead and turn the key to the on position. There we go. And we're going to go through some checks. So let's start. I'm on the on position, I think.
Yep. We look.
Doesn't seem like it.
Well, you got brights are on. No, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute.
They're not very bright.
Dim. Why did they get them up?
Pay attention to what you're doing. Ooh, that one's hot. Like really bright. And then that one's really
Dim.
Okay, so we got to figure that out. That wasn't present the last time we did this.
We got brights showing over here, and those two are they low?
Yeah, they're not very.
Yeah, there's something going on there. Try the turn signal.
You got the rear.
There it is. Nice ground on that one.
All right, let's okay, so we got the left turn signal on in the rear, so let's go to the right.
Oh, that's working nicely.
All right, so let's see what we got up front.
Oh, yeah. Looks like that's working fine, too.
Neither of these are. All right, so we know our turn signals work. We got an issue with our headlights.
Headlights don't seem to work right.
Okay. What about running lights?
They seem to be running. How about this one? Yep.
Okay, so we got
good.
running lights. Go ahead and see we got them in the back.
Oh, yeah. Running lights are working. Want to hit the brakes?
I can't remember.
Well, we don't have that switch yet, do we?
I can jump the switch.
Let's see if that works.
All right, let me jump the switch real quick. Got it?
Yep. Oh, no. Not yet. Are you getting it?
You don't have brake
That's
lights?
not doing anything.
I'm getting a click out of the relay switch.
Yeah.
It's just clicking.
Oh. What relay switch?
There's a brake light relay switch.
Oh.
That's clearly just decided not to work now.
Well,
I guess that's bad.
the relay?
It worked last time. Yep, it's the one we didn't replace.
Yeah, it's the one we didn't replace.
And we didn't because it was working.
Well, it was.
There we go. We don't have, so I'm going to have to replace that now. No, I'm not getting any dash lights.
Really?
All right, so I'm not really sure why we're not getting,
Is it work? It did work.
all this worked.
Yeah, about a month ago.
All right, so this is why we do this. Clearly everything worked before, but we've been messing around with the electrical quite a bit, adding all the different systems, the ECU system for the fuel injection, the AC control system's been added into this. I've had to tap into a lot of power to control all the relays and all these things. So clearly something
Neither
is
disconnected or loose.
So I'm not really sure.
That's why we do this.
It is why we do it. I just don't want to be messing with electrical. I thought, oh, yay, it's going to be perfect. Nope. So we do have the AC system here and the ventilation system.
Fans are working.
So as far as we can test this, that's about the only thing we can test at this point. But that works. That blows pretty hard. Like, so we can test out, we put a new window regulator safety relay in. So I can go ahead and at least test, see, do we have power coming into our box here that's going to go towards our window switches. We don't need to check the wires all the way to the doors and all that. We've already done that, but we should check to make sure that that relay switch in there, since we put a brand new one in, is actually doing its job. And we got 12.
Good.
All right, so we know we got power coming to the power window, so we know that relay works, so that's good. We at least got that going for us. Next thing is we got to figure out why our dash lights stopped working and why our headlights are kind of wonky. So
Definitely different.
I'm going to look at the grounds up there and see what we got. I don't really mess with all that, so I mean, just we have been messing with the wiring up there, so maybe we got a ground that's not doing its thing. I'll let you know here in a minute. And again, headlights is something as simple as there's your ground. Never even got hooked up. Totally missed it. All right, I'm going to get that hooked up and we'll check it again. Ready? All right, we're going to try the headlights again.
My golly, we got both,
And
low
they're nice and
beams.
bright, so let's go brights.
and the brights are working now. It was just that ground.
Okay.
That was an easy fix.
3 of my 4 circuit breakers in here are hot, even with the key off. And that shouldn't be. So I got to figure out why this is getting power even with the key off. I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm at. All right, you guys. So remember I told you we had an issue here with the wiring up here, specifically the wiring that's going to the circuit breakers. And this is what happens when you have that kind of a problem. You're poring over all the wiring diagrams and anything you can find to figure this out. So here's what I've figured out to this point, or at least I haven't figured anything out. I've just got me some data. So if I go here, this shows me, I know you like my drawings. This shows me what I currently have here. This shows me what the book says here. And these don't match. But I've tried it both ways. And I'm still not convinced it's right. So what I did was I checked every wire going into the circuit breakers to find out which ones are my power wires. And so you can see my black wire, power all the time. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, key on, key off, key in my pocket, doesn't matter. Same with the black yellow wire. So those are 2 power wires that are hot all the time. And then I have a black green wire that's only hot in AC and run. So I'm going to call those 2 switch powered. None of those have any power to them. So clearly then what we're looking at is these 3 wires feed all of these. I just have to figure out what systems these are and which systems that should be on or have a power present anytime and which ones I want to be keyed. So that's where I'm at with this in playing with all of this fun stuff. I think I've got me a roadmap now. I just got to figure out what each of these wires goes to, what system are they running or sending power to. And hopefully from that, I'll be okay. I just have to determine which wires I want to have what. And then I'm golden. So I will let you know when I have figured that out and we'll move on. Well, I think I figured it out. So what I've ended up here with is I've got 2 of my breakers are keyed and 2 of them are hot all the time. Now I have figured out what the wires are that are going to the keyed source. And those are the red wire, which is for the power window regulator. The orange, which is for the old heater system, which I don't even use anymore, so that could come off of there. And the green red, which is for the goes to the voltage regulator. Those are all coming off of my keyed power, which means the rest of these are all hot all the time. So I'm going to now have to trace those, but I think I've got a handle on this now. So I just got to dig through all these schematics, find those wires, and make sure that the wires are going where they, hot or keyed appropriately. So just a lot of sitting and poring over schematics, taking notes and trying to figure it out. But I think I've got it nailed down. I just got a few wires to trace now to figure out exactly what they are and make sure that the right ones are going where they're supposed to. But I have power to all 4 circuit breakers now, which I didn't have before. And I have a pretty good idea of where half of my wires are going and what systems they're powering. So, all right, guys, some of my parts came in. Some were good and some not so good. So we're going to deal with the ones that are good right now. Okay, so if you remember on the proportioning valve, the opening where you put your pressure switch or whatever you want to call it, The new proportioning valve does not have a spot like the old brake master cylinder had for this to screw into. So what I've done is the hole that's, or the port that's in the proportioning valve right now, that's for this, for whatever switch you're going to use, is this size brake line fitting. This will screw into there. So what I'm going to do now is this fitting, this here is 1/8 MPT, and I'm going to drill and tap this for 1/8 MPT so that I can screw this into the proportioning valve and then screw this into this. I've got to drill that hole all the way through this. So it's got to be straight all the way through. So it might be better to take it over to my dad's, let him run it through on the drill press and make sure we have a good clean hole all the way through. Okay guys, we're over at my parents'. Going to go over to my dad's shop and see if we can't drill at that fitting. There's that bug I did. Just sitting there sparkling all over the place. Anyways, here's my dad's workshop. Mostly he does wood stuff in his shop. So let's show you what we have in ready to do here. So we're going to drill a hole in this block of wood, and what our hope is that we can screw this into it, so that'll
drill through that.
That'll hold this in place while we drill through it. Okay, let's show you what we got. So we drilled a hole in this block. We were able to thread this down into the wood.
Nice tight fit.
This brake fitting line. And now we're going to try and drill that out so we can tap it for that. So we can tap it for this. All right, so you can see we didn't go all the way through, but we are almost there. All right, so it looks like our project's working. I think we got it. Come on. There it goes. There we go, guys. Okay.
That'd be $20 for that piece of wood.
$20. It's well worth it. Okay, so there's what we're going to do. We'll screw this into the proportioning valve, and then we'll screw this into that, and we should have our brake light switch. All right, well, looks like Dad earned his Chick-fil-A again today.
I'm tired.
Yeah, well, you're home. You don't even have to wait to go home. All right, thanks for the help, Dad.
Well, see you next week when you get out back from work.
All right. Okay, let's show you how it turned out. And you can see right there, we've got our switch. Now, I won't know for sure 100% if this actually works until I get the master cylinder back on here and we can get some pressure in the system and see if it trips the switch. Anyways, but that, all my talking was what I was trying to tell you. So I just wanted to show you what it looked like and that it worked. All right, so Ace Hardware saves the day. So you can see here, you know, we've got the flared fitting here, but this isn't going to work because that's way too big to go into a 1/8 opening on my radiator. That's been my problem for weeks now. So what I've done is I cut this one off, and we are going to use this fitting here, which is a 3/8 line compression fitting. And then the other side of it is the 1/8 that goes into the radiator. So this will successfully now convert this to the radiator. And then here I have my reducer. This will go to the radiator at the bottom. This brings it back up to the 2 inches, which is needed to go to the water pump. Whew, all right, guys. I know I've been, probably the last 3 videos, I've been talking about trying to get this wrapped up, these 2 cooling lines hooked up, and the radiator hose down there. And look at that. I got it. Yay. Man, it took a while. Hopefully it doesn't leak, but yeah, it looks good. I got my new brake light switch in, or relay. So we're going to go ahead and get that swapped out and put that on. All right, and we'll just plug it in. So I'll need to check the brake light switch. So let's go ahead and get the key on. We're going to jump the I'm not getting brake lights, but I am getting a lot of noise from this switch as well. That's something I'm going to have to dig into. I'm not going to do it right now, but anyway, that is not the main concern that I have right now. Right now, we really need to focus on getting some fluids moving through the engine, all the accessory, fluids moving through the through those areas. So, with that said, let me see. We're going to bump the starter. Nothing. All right. All right, guys. So I've been trying to figure out, I don't have 12 volts to this when I turn the key on. I'm not getting my 12 volts. So I just finished trying to do continuity from this wire, should go from here to the neutral safety switch. And I did not get continuity from here to there. So I may have a broken wire or something like that. So what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to just bridge from the battery to that terminal and see if I put 12 volts to that. Does that work and turn the engine over, just to eliminate the solenoid as the problem. Here we go. So I got the other end of the wire hooked to the terminal here on the switch, and we'll go to the positive side of the battery. All right. So we know our switch is good, or solenoid rather. So now we got to figure out why we don't have continuity to this. Why I can't get my 12 volts. All right, so the fun continues. So what I've done is I've confirmed continuity from here to where it goes through the firewall. You can see the wires right there. Actually, it's right there. Nope, it's that right there. It goes through. And so when I get onto this side, I've unplugged it. And you can see right there. All right, so I've been able to verify continuity from that point over to this switch. And I've been able to, from the other side of this connector, I've been able to verify that there's continuity from this side all the way over to the neutral safety switch. So clearly now the problem is in this connection. So I'm going to jump from one side of the connection to the other and then hit the key and see if that will crank it over from the key. So let's go ahead and get that done. I'm not getting anything. It's like I'm not getting power to the, oh, you know, you know why? Because the connector's apart. And so it's, I don't have main power coming into the switch. All right. Duh. This is just part of taking a car that, you know, I stripped down to a metal shell and, you know, putting it back together. You got to go through all these things. And so that's where we're at. Let me see if I can figure that out. Well, I cleaned up that connector, put a little bit of silicone lube on it for electrical. Really made sure it was good, you know, together good, and I was able to get continuity all the way from the switch to the neutral safety switch, or the solenoid here rather. So I should be able to turn the key now. I have it all plugged back in. So we're gonna hook this on, and we're gonna go in here and see if we can turn the key and see if this thing will turn over. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if the neutral safety switch is out of adjustment a little bit. Shouldn't be. Still have to figure out why I don't have lights in the dash or underneath here, and why my brake lights don't come on. I put a brand new relay in here and they still don't work, and this still makes this noise every time I try to connect, you know, every time I try to jump the wire. That I don't understand. This worked. We were able to jump the wire in an earlier video and the brake lights worked. Now this is making some kind of noise, clicking noise that I don't know what's going on. So I got to run those two things. Oh, and the key, I can't start the car with the key. And I think that has something to do with the neutral safety switch. So I need to go underneath there, and when Dad's here, it'll be a lot easier to check power, make sure I got power one side of the switch to the other. And if I got power on one side, I know I did continuity, so I know my wire's good. So it's just a matter of adjusting the switch until it makes that connection when it's in park. So I just got a few things to run the ground now on this thing. So okay, updates. I have updates. All right, so I pulled this apart, and I have the two wires. They're easy to identify because we did that dash, and it's always the blue with the red stripe. And these wires just come from the switch. They come into here, go across the fuse, and then just go right back. It's the only fuse in here that doesn't go to the bus bar up here on the edges. So this one here, we can't figure out, we can't get these to come out. And I'm going to take a big risk of breaking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the wire off from either one of these. I'm going to take it and remove it from going into the back of the fuse box here. Let's see if I can show you. It's right in through here. I'll just pull them separate. And then I'm going to use a fusible link to link them together to go back. And then we'll still have a fuse. It'll be outside of the box instead of inside the box. This is the only difference. And that's the only real resolution I see to this, because I have tried with needle nose and everything to try and unplug these and see if I could get a better connection in here. But these are not coming loose. And the problem is the one side is loose. I don't have any way of tightening that. So I'm just going to cut these. We're going to work it outside of the fuse box. Then I can put the fuse box and everything back. And we should have a working lights again. And all right, we're back. And you can see I pulled the wires out from behind the fuse panel. And they're out here. I'll tie that up here in a minute. But we are going to check the system now and make sure that it fixed our problem. I'm going to go ahead and put the keys in the on position because the pump came on. And look at that.
And we have a solid light now.
Yeah, not only do we have lights, but they are not in and out weekly. That's a good, strong. That's far better than it was.
Oh, yeah. Much better.
Okay, so we know we've fixed that problem. All right, we're knocking them out, guys. All right, let's move on. Well, guys, so now that we've got the fuse issue resolved and our lights are all working like they're supposed to be now, yeah, that fuse, little clips, one of them was just loose and intermittent, so we got that. We had to bypass it, but that's all fixed. So since then, I have been able to get the car to turn over by the key. That wasn't too terrible. I had to go up underneath here and adjust the neutral safety switch. It was just a little bit off, but we got that all taken care of. And the last thing that we were having an issue with was our brake light switch. And that was right here. There was an old repair underneath here that came apart. And that was causing all of the problems. So we got that all patched up properly, taped up again. And there we go. So we have fixed almost all of our electrical issues. Okay, so we've pretty well taken care of a lot of the issues that we had. Trying to get this thing ready for the first start in the car. And that's what we're ready for now, guys. So let's get to what we really want to do on this video, which is hear this thing run for the first time in this car and hear this car run for the first time in over 40 years. So it's a big day and we are going to get there. I promise you, we are going to get there. So let's just start going around this thing and start making sure that we are ready for this thing to be fired off. Okay, so the first thing was I needed to get a test done on this. I did take care of that. So we put power to the system, cranked up the pump in the tank, worked just fine. We put the pressure to it, and we have no leaks. So step one toward the engine run complete. Let's start working on some fluids. Type F. Okay, I got the reservoir filled for the power steering. And there's a lot of lines and whatnot that need to be filled. So we'll take care of that in a minute, but we got that full. I just got the radiator filled. It's and transmission's done. I think that's it. Okay, guys, here we go. So all the fluids are topped off. So here's my game plan. First thing I need to do is I got the battery hooked back up. I've disconnected the fuel injection engine management system right here. I don't want that engaging right now. So that's disconnected. And then the next thing I need to do is going to be to turn the engine over and cycle it and see if we can't get some of the power steering system to circulate through the system, as well as some of the fluids, transmission to start pumping some fluid, get the radiator to start to move some fluid around a little bit. So we're going to do that. All right, here we go. All right, make sure we don't have any leaks. We're good. Let's hit it again. All right, I'm going to go ahead and top off the power steering, add a little bit more fluid, radiator, and then we'll do it again. We'll just do this a few times and make sure that all that fluid's where it needs to be. All right, have topped everything off. All right, let's bump it over again. Let's see what we got. Okay, our fluid's starting to stay up. All right, so let's see. So we didn't lose any of our fluid. Yep. Okay, so that's good. I think we've gotten to a point. Yep, radiator's good. This is good. Transmission is good. And we're not pulling fluid through anymore. So I imagine, once it starts and I can turn the wheel and get the fluid to cycle through some more and bleed the air out, it'll probably pull some more, but there at least be enough in here to handle that now. I've had to fill this probably 3 or 4 times, so I feel like it's probably all full. Okay, now we got to figure out about starting this thing for real. All right, guys, so now that we've got everything installed, everything's ready, we're gonna start on the process of the quick start guide, I guess is what it is. So I'm sure there's going to be, I believe we have to download, I got an iPad here, download their app, start going through some of that stuff. So we're just going to work our way through this, and I'll bring you in at key points. All right. But let me read through it. First thing is you've got to download the app. So that's where I'm at right now. So there's the home page, I guess the starting page when you get the app downloaded. So that's where I'm at so far. So now it looks like we need to pair it, or Bluetooth pairing. So we need to get this app needs to connect to the ECU. So that means I'm going to need to plug the ECU back in. So let's go ahead and get that done. All right, there you go. So the first thing that they wanted us to do was you hit the engine right here. It's red X at first. You hit that. You go through the pairing process of pairing this, your tablet or your phone, with the Edelbrock ECU, and that wasn't too difficult. So that's done. And let me see what's next. Okay, so once I went through all the questions and they wanted to know what kind of cam and displacement, what fuel injectors you have, all those things, and it's all pretty self-explanatory in the instructions. And then it wants me to do a power cycle, so I need to turn the key off, give it about 10 seconds. You'll hear the relay click, and then back on. So I'm going to do that right now. All right. So the next step is to start the engine. So we've gotten through all that. We want you to set your base timing, which was done when I set the engine up, and start the engine. And then I need to get the timing light on it and adjust the distributor until the engine has 12 degrees advanced timing, and then tighten up the distributor, warm up the engine, and I guess we'll start through the whole process. So let's see if this thing will actually start yet. So let's see what we got. All right, here we go.
Come on. Come on, learn. Come on. Okay. Something's going on. I'm not sure why we're not running. I don't know if we need to move this one way or another. Let's just try. All right, guys. So still don't have any leaks. Yeah, I see a little one in the power steering gearbox. Just that B nut looks like it needs to be tightened up a little bit more. Don't see anything else at this point. So we need to get past this kind of rough idling and running. So all right, got the fuel pressure set to where it should be. But this thing's not settling out, so I'm not sure what it's fighting. It feels like it's fighting itself somewhere. So I'm not really sure what's going on. It seems to be struggling with the timing. And so it's possible that when I set up the initial timing that I'm off a little bit. I'm not really sure. But it doesn't seem to be coming around like I'd like. I think in the morning I'm going to come back and we'll see if we can't just go through the timing one more time. Make sure top dead center. Just go through the whole thing and reset all that. Make sure it's right, because maybe it happens, right? We've all done it. So, but otherwise, everything else is doing really good. The temperature's holding at 180, so that's good. Heck, I even noticed the wipers motors kicked on and come back off. So that's pretty cool. They're working. We'll get back at it in the morning, though. Okay.
Got it, guys. I had to make a call to Edelbrock, and we had to change the fuel mapping a little bit. It was starving itself essentially, but oh yeah, sounds good. All right, and there you go. ProFlow EFI system is now installed. It's got a lot of learning to do, so it'll need to be driven and all of those things, but man, Doing good. Alright. Temperature's holding good. Radiator's doing good. Fans on. Oh, yeah.
All right, so I've let it cool down. I went ahead and tightened up the distributor since we have all that set now. So what I'd like to do is let's just do a cold start on this. Make sure she just cranks and idles. So we'll go to there. Let's turn the key on. There we go. Okay, here we go. All right, there it smooths out. All right, it's doing good. Fuel pressure's doing good. That's the whole purpose. I wanted to come out here, do a cold start, see what it did. My suspicion is this thing's got some learning to do yet, so it hasn't fully worked itself out. So we'll do some more cranks and runs and just let this thing learn and get adjusted to where it needs to be. So, anyways, so when I talked to Edelbrock, and I didn't know if I was able to explain this very well. It was noisy. The thing was running. But I went ahead and contacted Edelbrock and explained to him what was happening, that the thing would start, it would run rough, and I would have to keep giving it gas, and then it would just die. And, we went through all the, did you do this? Yes. I checked the timing again, so everything was good. So he had me put another map on it to increase the fuel flow. So we loaded a different program that would have been different than what the Wizard wanted. And what that did was that increased the fuel flow to the injectors, and that was like that. It fixed it. As soon as he did that, I started it back up, and it surged and it surged, and it just kept getting better and better, and then it just finally calmed down and sat and idled. And so I figured it was something like that this thing was fighting itself, is what it felt like. So, yeah, I can't even tell you how excited I am that this thing is in the car and running now, and how relieved I am. This is my first time doing something to this kind of scale with the car and an engine and all of these things. And having it all working out so far has been just freaking amazing. So anyway, we're not going to go too much further tonight. I think we're going to call it a night. I'll come back in the morning. I'll bring Dad with, and we'll start ironing out some of the little details. There's just some minor things that we need to deal with. The only leak that I have found so far is right there. So I gotta check out that line and figure out why it's leaking. Guys, I'm loving it. Pretty cool to see this thing running.
All right, guys, so we've got this up and running again. And we were able to turn the steering wheel. And it moves nice and easy all the way, both directions. Little chirp. And it'll go all the way back the other way. Nice and easy. It's not hard, so looks like the power steering system's doing its job. There you go. And back. Okay, so looks like we got our good full range of motion, which means I did something right when I rebuilt that.
Okay, guys, so anyway, everything in here is doing really good. Check our temperature. Yeah, we're holding good temperature. You saw the wheels turn good. I just put this on, but yeah, that's really good. We got oil pressure gauges working. We don't seem to have anything temperature-wise. I don't know why. And fuel. The amp meter's working good, and the oil pressure's working good. But these two here, we're not really getting anything from them. So anyway, we'll figure that out. So again, you know, all these things I rebuilt that I've never done before, I was really nervous about them. So to have that gearbox working, to have that pump working, you know, that's a big deal. So that's good. The wipers work. Let me show you that. Let me show you these wipers real quick. See that? How about that? But everything else is going really good. It's we're holding temperature good. He's idling. We got all of the electrical problems that we knew of fixed. So I guess what we're going to do here is we're going to say goodbye. All right, Dad? We're going to say goodbye. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one, all right?